Hello, denizens of the internet. This is the Dire Penguin Show, and I'm Dire Penguin, and welcome back. You're taking a look at our very first destroyer. That's right, we now have a Hammerhead class destroyer. I built this over a little while off camera. It took me probably about 20 minutes to kind of figure out how I wanted to lay out the ship, how I wanted to build it, what was going to be best, what was my flux generation was. I ran it through a few simulations, and I just figured I'd go ahead and show it off once it was done because, 20 minutes of me learning about the ship just wasn't all that entertaining. So let's go ahead and run a simulation. We're going to run it against a balanced destroyer that's kind of equivalent to us. And I've run this before, so I have a pretty good idea of how we're going to do. And this gives me an opportunity to talk about how we built our destroyer and what strategy we're trying to employ here. So we have 4 weapon groups. The primary frontal-facing cannons here are heavy autocannons, which are kinetic damage type. And it's going to be very good at dropping the target's shields, especially since the Hammerhead class destroyer has an accelerated ammo feeder as its ability, which is going to increase the rate of fire of any ballistic weapons on board. So that we can use our ability to, now we're going to use a lot of flux, but to rapidly increase our rate of fire to try to overload the target or at least bring their shields down so that we can switch to weapon group 3, which is going to be our Annihilator rockets and our Swarmers. I'd kind of like to have 2 Annihilator rockets on there, but I didn't have another one, and another one wasn't for sale on the market. So instead, I just dropped in a Swarmer, which is going to serve to send out small missiles that are guided to confuse any point defense and to take out any fighters in the area. And then the Annihilator rockets are the heavy damage, unguided missile projectiles that are really good against armor and hull. So hopefully once the target's shields are down, then we can fire off those and do a lot of damage. We want to hold those in reserves until that time though. And then lastly, we have tactical lasers on group 4 on most of the ship, which are going to be very good for just doing continuous damage against the target, particularly if it's a fast, agile target that we can't catch up to and potentially can't use our other weapons on. Weapon 2 is just a light dual machine gun. I'm going to be replacing that as soon as I can find something better, but that was the best option without going to the black market at the time. So let's go ahead and switch to our missiles. We can rely on the auto fire for our heavy autocannon, and let's engage this guy. I'm going to use the shift key to keep myself pointed at him, regardless of what my ship is doing. I'm going to use my rapidly accelerated autocannons, fire off some rockets. I missed badly, but let's see if we can. Oh, we're overloaded, so we want to disengage. Looks like he's overloaded too, so he couldn't take advantage of that, but I want to vent my flux as soon as I come off the overloaded state. Let him re-engage me, start accelerating toward him, raise my shields back up, and see if I can't bring his shields to overload, which I did. Fire off some missiles, do some pretty good damage on him, and fire off another salvo. Boom! There he goes. Pretty effective. I'm a little bit concerned that we might run out of missiles or rockets in a protracted engagement, but it looks like this is going to be a pretty good ship to take on large targets with. Why are you showing a buffalo there? Not sure, but I think it's going to be effective. If it turns out that it's not, we can always change it to some other weapon type here, but I just felt like that was it filled a gap in what we had. We have small ships that are able to deal out pretty good damage, but I need that ship that can really strip the shields off of a target. Because remember, we're going to have other ships in an engagement that can help us out if need be. Otherwise, we can level up our captains some more, so let's go ahead and do that. Let's level up. Now, this captain is now on the destroyer. I wanted that maneuverability on that large, slow ship. Now, because I've leveled her 1 skill up all the way, I can't level it up anymore. I have to choose one of these 2 skills. I'm forced into it, and I don't get a pick of which skill I want. I just have to roll the dice and see what comes up here. So that's one thing to consider. We didn't do that with this guy. We went ahead and chose our second skill that we wanted to give him. So do we want Ordnance Expertise, which is increased damage, gets us that increased projectile speed. Very, very good. I think that's probably what we want. I mean, that plus 25% damage to shields would be good for the spirit of this ship, which is really about dropping the target shields as fast as possible and raising their flux so that we either disable their weapons or overload them and effectively accomplish the same thing. But I think we're going to go ahead and increase the ballistic and energy projectile speed so that we can hit much more reliably. So let's go ahead and learn that skill. And we'll go ahead and level him up as well. We can either teach him that target analysis or go ahead and get him that level 10 in gunnery implants. I think we want to go ahead and do that just because level 10 skills are so strong. I think we want to do that. May not be the best fit on that ship, but I don't know how long we'll leave him in that ship, and that is a very strong skill. Alright. Last Captain Dayfarer, or excuse me, Lieutenant Dayfarer. I think we're going to do the same thing for her. I think we're going to take the increased ballistic and energy projectile speed, just because that's going to help us a lot to hit our targets, and that's something that I really want to be able to do consistently so I can keep the damage up. Now, do we want to teach her missile specialization? Or gunnery? Let's go ahead and get that weapon range on her. I think that'll be a good choice. Okay. Our character... we have 1 aptitude point. We also have some skill points. I did actually go ahead and put the 5th point in this skill here, this helmsmanship, during the break. And that gives us that plus 50% maneuverability, which is very good. And then what I want to do is I want to use this aptitude point to probably try to branch out. I've got a lot of skill points built out, so if I put a point in technology, I can learn a lot of skills, potentially. I've been thinking about this, and I really want to put points into technology. I really do, but I really feel like those leadership skills are just too good to ignore. Yes, there's only 3 of them, but increasing the number of commands you can give in a combat is good. Increasing the crew experience gained is fantastic, especially as our fleet grows and we get these larger and larger ships that require more and more crew and potentially take damage and lose crew. And then reduce the supply use for maintenance. That sounds fantastic too. So I think I'm going to go ahead and put this aptitude point into leadership, which is not what I thought I was going to do when I started out today. But let's go ahead and just get all of them. More command points, more crew experience, less supply use for maintenance. And we still have 2 skill points. I can't increase these skills anymore, but I can look at some of these other skills for what I might want to take. I could save these skill points, but unless I was to put the next aptitude point in technology, I don't think there's any benefit in doing that. Our other choice, I feel like, is this evasive action. Not because necessarily of the engine damage itself, but that plus 75% of maneuverability on top of the 50% maneuverability we get from helmsmanship. That should increase our turn rates of even the largest ships that we may want to get. And we want to be getting some destroyers and cruisers as soon as we can, because I like big ships, okay? It's just fact. I like big ships. So I think I'm going to actually go ahead and take that. It's only going to take 5 to get it to where I want it to be, and then we might take some other skills. But, you know, it's only a 2 skill point commitment now. We can always save the remaining 3 until we have one of those larger ships. But let's go ahead and take that. We get some benefit out of it right now, so why not? One thing that has continued to surprise me is just how little these weapons sell for. For instance, the Swarmer SRM launcher, if I try to sell this, it will give me 43 credits. That's it. This appears to be an economy based entirely around weapons. I mean, when supplies can potentially cost more than an entire weapon system, it seems like your economy has probably gone wrong. Well, what is very interesting, what I'm very interested in, is some of these other weapons that have now been opened up to us, now that we have increased our standing. For instance, Pilum LRM launchers. Just look at this for a moment. It doesn't do fantastic damage, but it has 10,000 range, and they're guided missiles, and it has a limited ammo count of 30, but it actually reloads. So over the course of an engagement, you get those missiles back. This is really, really, really interesting. I feel like if you could get a lot of these on a missile boat, just keep it a long way away from the fight, and it can just consistently just put out some missiles. You only get 6 missiles a minute, but that initial burst, it can shoot 11 in a minute. And if you have maybe 4 launchers, you can shoot 44 missiles right at the opening of combat at extreme range, and that's just going to overwhelm a target potentially. We also have some other, damage 4,000 on that guy. There was another weapon up here. Yeah, auto pulse, there it is. This weapon is really interesting. I'm still struggling to kind of understand exactly how this functions. I'd like to try it out without having to buy it, but I don't know that I can do that. It does a very high burst damage, but then it has charges that have to recharge over time. It looks like 5 minutes and you get all your shots back. But it's got 1500 DPS right at the start, and that's really, really good. That's as much as our primary blaster that we're using on our ship to just wipe out targets. And this would have effectively unlimited shots. And it's doing that per second for, it looks like a very short period of time, but, maybe, what is that? 2 seconds, maybe? But, you get that ammo back over time, so I'm not quite sure how the charges count works there, but that looks really interesting as well. But we can actually go ahead and potentially buy this now. It's really tempting to do that. That's a very, very interesting weapon system. I think I'm going to do that. Yes, it's a medium missile mount, but we're looking at potentially getting some ships that have that, I think. Let's go ahead and look at what's for sale on the ship market. Oh, we don't have that destroyer anymore. They must have changed stock. Huh. Do these light cruisers have medium missile mounts? No, they do not. I'd have to go all the way up here to this cruiser. That's probably more than we can afford in the near future, so maybe I will leave those off. Wonder what I could do with this construction rig. I have no idea. I still don't know what it does. Interesting, I wonder if you could build your own stations or something with this. That's an interesting thought. But what we want to do is we want to see if we can't get our standing with the hegemony even higher by destroying their enemies. I don't think we're quite ready to take on one of these other factions yet. I've seen the military that the hegemony is using and flying around, and I don't think we can take on one of those fleets yet. But I want to kind of move toward that. Maybe we'll be expanding out beyond our initial sector here. Here we are at Corvus. We might want to expand out here and see what we can find. I think there are probably larger fights as we get away from Corvus. And we're doing pretty well in Corvus. I mean, we're encountering pretty small fleets. I've gotten in a few tangles with maybe 5 ships. Or if we were joining in with the Hegemony, I think we had that one fight that had, maybe 8 or so. But I want to go ahead and expand out even more. So I could go up here, or I could try going to another system. For the sake of gameplay, I think I'm going to go ahead and go to another system. I'm completely full on fuel capacity now, so I think that's lower risk. I'm not at risk of running out of fuel, and I have enough supplies for a while. Since we're going ahead and talking about potentially leaving the system, let's go ahead and just get some more extra supplies while we're at it, because we'll use those up. I did it again. Confirm. There we go. We'll use those up pretty rapidly if we get into a fight. And they're following us. Okay. Let's go ahead. I'm not sure what's at this relay. I've never actually been to it. There's a jump point here, and that's probably where we actually want to go. But I don't know what the difference between this Corvus gate and these jump points are. But let's go ahead and head down here, and we will check out this relay. It might be nothing interesting. It might just offer us some missions or something, but it'll at least give us a chance to learn a little bit more about the game. Okay, this is pretty cool. I can install a comm sniffer. Let's do it. Alright, we're still trying to get better with the hegemony, so let's not do it. We'll do it maybe in another system where the hegemony isn't in force. Alright. It sounded like a fun idea. Now, there's a jump point all the way out here. I don't know. Let's go to this gate. Alright, so here we are coming up on the gate. It looks like it's inactive, perhaps? It says it's silent. Let's see what we can do here, though. See if we can do anything interesting. No. Okay. Well, lesson learned. You gotta go to the jump points. Alright, let's go to hyperspace. It costs us 6 fuel with a fleet of our size. Alright, so here we are in hyperspace. Now, there's Corvus. Broad gravity well. We definitely still have ships here. Probably some pirates. So, now we can travel to other systems. So, let's consider heading down here to Samara. I believe that... Ooh. That is an enemy, and it's a trade fleet. Can we engage with that? I like the sound of preying on a trade fleet of an enemy. That looks like a very large fleet there. Where are they going? Okay. We could do a burn to catch up to him faster. Oh, but it looks like we're going to get engaged by some pirates here, which I am fine with. Let's do that before these guys can catch up to us. We have a support destroyer. We have an attack frigate, although its combat readiness is into the range where it's going to start taking some malfunctions, because if you drop below 40% on your combat readiness, you'll start seeing malfunctions on your guns, or potentially your engines, or your shields. If your combat readiness drops below 40%, you'll start seeing some malfunctions on your systems, whether that's guns, shields, engines. You'll see that sort of thing. If you drop it below 20%, then I think that's when the malfunctions start having a chance of being fatal. But let's go ahead and engage these guys. I don't see any reason why not to. Let's go ahead and take our ship. And let's think about what we want to deploy. They don't have too much. Let's just go ahead and deploy these 3 ships here. We'll keep these as reinforcements. That way, if one of these ships gets low on combat readiness, I figure these 2 ships might be able to make up for that 1 ship that we're withholding. All right. Let's see if we can't find him. Notice how fast we are now? Our speed is 202. We are a very, very fast ship. All right, there's our primary target. We want to be able to deal with these fighters relatively quickly, but he is our primary target. If this attack destroyer is injured, it has malfunctions going on, it should be pretty short work for our close support frigate. So, this is our primary target. That's the one I'm going to be aiming for, and I'm going to try to bring him down as fast as possible. All right. Good, see if I can get him to engage. And these are set. Well, we didn't get much chance to partake in that. Boom. Only target left is over here. Well, we didn't get to do much. Wow, that was... Maybe I should have just gone in with 1 or 2 ships. Wow. Well, we got a decent amount of credits from the wreckage. We also got a mining blaster. Let's see what this thing can do. Very high flux. Very, very, very high flux, but high damage per second. Sells for a good amount. Sells for 1,000. We'll probably want to sell that. Alright, well, now we're pretty much full, but we can always drop these metals later, considering the price has just completely crashed on Jengala. They're now 15, or well, we're actually getting 11 out of each metal, so we want to see if we can sell this somewhere else, or just drop them. Let's see if we can catch up to this trade fleet here. Looks like we have other pirates that are hunting for that trade fleet. It's worth possibly doing a burn to catch up. Ooh. Nope, looks like we'll be able to join in. Neither side trusts me enough. Okay, well, I can just sit here and wait for the survivor. So I'm just gonna, you know, sit here and loop around. Don't pay attention to me, guys. I'm just, you know, biding my time. Wow, this is a long fight. It's been like a week at this point. Emergency burn, huh? Well, guess what? I'm faster than you, almost, without an emergency burn. Especially once I use an emergency burn to try to catch up to you. Now, looks like this is almost entirely controlled by the hegemony, so that trade fleet is actually the enemy, and we should be able to partake in the killing spree freely, especially since the hegemony likes us. Looks like they lost a ship there. I'm gonna wait until their emergency burn drops. Wow, they're even faster. And then I'm gonna go into an emergency burn to catch up. Oh, they're faster. No, wait for me! No, he's mine! Mine! Good gosh, he's hard target to stick to. Who are you guys? We're gonna get you, one way or another. Okay, now we have to catch this guy. He's probably pretty fast, but his combat readiness has been dropped a lot, so let's go after these guys. We want our fastest ships to go after him. I'm gonna take this ship and my shuttle, which my shuttle does not have a captain, but I think that's gonna be okay. We just want to take these two ships here, deploy, and see if we can't catch this guy. Obviously, engage. All I have to do is tag him. Oh, wow. Let's get close. Activate time slowed downy mode. And boom. Oh, that was that. He's gone. All right, well, that was easy. And they now like us less. So I don't care. I want more targets. And what did we get? We got some volatiles. All right, well, that's at least something new to sell. Why has our... Oh, we burned a lot of fuel and a lot of supplies doing that. This was really not profitable at all to do, by the way. All that emergency burns and stuff, that was not profitable. We're not going to recover that money, but that's okay. What is all over here? Mirrors. Cool, what can we do at a mirror? Let's find out. Nothing. Alright. Let's go... Are there any planets? There's a station over there. Let's go over there. Wow, okay. 130 credits per unit. Well, that was worthwhile to bring. 47 credits per unit. Worthwhile to bring. Volatiles. Sure, why not? 2,000 credits? Alright. Let's see if there's anything interesting here. We'll see if we can't get maybe a carrier. What can we buy here? Combat freighters. Any flight decks? No. Flight decks? No. Flight decks? No. Flight... Oh, I don't want you anyway. And I don't have the money for any of it, so... So let's leave Samara because... Well, this is too friendly of a territory. Down here, there's only one independent city anyway. So let's consider... Ooh, that would probably be a bad choice. Let's try Yama. That might be a good place to go to. That's got a pirate station and one independent station. Our other choice might be... these are all targets we're at war with. Ooh, that would be a very, very interesting station to go to. We're at war with kind of the Tritachyon. So is the Hegemony. If I click on Hegemony, they don't like Tritachyons. There may be, like, active war conditions going on up here in Valhalla, which seems somewhat appropriately named. Not sure that we're ready for that, though, whether we're ready for actual military engagements. We could potentially hide beside a regular Hegemony military. Let's try it. Let's try going over to Valhalla. I mean, what's the worst that can happen? We probably run away or we get destroyed. Either way, it's probably entertaining to watch, right? I wonder if they've actually done things out here on the map in these other areas, or whether these known systems are the only systems in the game. I wonder how much of an exploration angle there is on this. Oh, wow. It is slow moving through a nebula. So there's kind of star lanes almost. There's effective ways to travel. Hyperspace storm. Yeah, there's we're more visible, we're slow. Yeah, interesting. So there's kind of little lanes you could travel through to stay safe. Okay, we have a chance at a real battle here. These actually look like a decent number of ships. Some of these are fighters, but we have a decent number of allied ships, and they are, I believe, supporting me instead of me supporting them. So I believe that means that we will start in the advantageous position, and then they will come in to support us. So that may mean that we actually have a chance at some combat before they kill everybody. But we have a close support destroyer. This is a hammerhead like we have. Then we have a Buffalo support destroyer, another Buffalo support destroyer, close support frigate, and 2 combat freighters. So I think this is a good opportunity to see what we can do, get some good loot out of this. Let's deploy everything. Okay, so it looks like they are probably on the run. They're probably going to turn around a few ships to see if they can slow us down and move their combat freighters out. I don't know. Let's go ahead and let it run for a few moments. Okay, looks like the support destroyers may actually be running, but these combat freighters are definitely turning. So let's go ahead and tell our shuttle to go ahead and support our combat freighter. And we're just going to let our ships engage at will. I feel like that's probably best at this point until I have a better idea of what's going to happen and who's going to need support. So our ship is very fast. Looks like this guy is low on health at the moment, so we might be able to kill him very quickly. His armor is destroyed on his back. So if we can hit him on his back, we'll kill him very quickly and then be able to move over toward these support destroyers and just all of these have taken damage, so... Alright, let's see if we can't get in there pretty quick. Close on him. Raise our shields. And... go ahead and shred him. Bam! Man, I love that blaster. Alright, let's take a look where our the targets are. We want to close with these. We want to be able to shut these guys down, prevent them from escaping. Our guys are definitely going to be able to handle this. They're probably going to get a good tag on this guy and slow him down. But I need to get up here to these ships up here and see if I can't slow them down. I want to avoid as many of those missiles as I can. Looks like they've got some pretty long-range ones. Can we close? Somebody just died. It looks like it was the hammerhead. Boom! Got him. Oh, it got destroyed. Oh, they've destroyed my engine. Or not destroyed, but they've EMP'd my engine. This looks like our guys have now closed, though. I want to... Boom! We took a little bit of damage, but pretty good. Alright, so we took some damage there, but we definitely got some money from the wreckage, and we should be able to get a pretty good amount of salvage, too. Definitely got our supplies back, at least, which we're going to spend immediately doing repairs, but it's okay. Got our fuel back up. We also have a point defense laser, which is good. I wanted one. Got another light assault gun. We'll probably sell this guy. LR long-range point defense laser, it looks like. Medium range. Okay. It's still a point defense laser. It's just all around better, I believe. We can take a look at that. Range 400? Yeah, it's higher flux, though, so there's a trade-off there, and the damage is a bit lower. But it's long range, so might be good. Another antimatter blaster. That's very good. We like this weapon. Okay. Not a bad haul. Alright, that's probably the last combat for today. We're going to go sell off, we're going to restock. We got a little bit more money, and I'm a little bit interested to see if we can get an officer. So we're going to fly down to Jangala, and... no, that's too big. We're going to head on down to Jangala, and we're going to see if we can pick up an officer along the way. And we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching, folks.